To a copy of tonight's Davidson Town Council agenda, leaders indicate the state will move to phase 2 on Friday. And we know phase 2 would lift the statewide stay-at-home order and open restaurants and to dine-in, gyms and salons with safety measures in place. But officials have not given specifics just yet on rules surrounding pools or a possible limit on the size of gatherings. And we told you last week Davidson Town commissioners were considering more restrictive rules, including requiring people to wear masks. Right now in Mecklenburg County, that is only a recommendation. The agenda indicates leaders are still grappling with whether to stick with more restrictions on things like indoor dining, opening movie theaters, and day camps. Part of the agenda also lays out the pros and cons of not moving into phase 2 until later. Commissioners are holding a special virtual meeting tonight at 6, and we'll let you know what they decide. Well, restaurants have been forced to do takeout only for weeks now, but one local restaurant owner decided to defy the governor's order. Now, the owner of Mitchum's Kitchen has been cited for opening the doors. And our Ken Lemon is live for us now. And Ken, you spoke with the owner about this, and what did he have to say about all of this?
Yeah, he also happened to be the chair of the Board of Commissioning. Carol Mitchum told me that he was not served at his restaurant in Vail. However, the sheriff handed him that citation just before he stepped into a Board of Commissioners meeting right here at the administration building. I spoke with the sheriff this morning. He told me this is something that the law requires him to do. Carol Mitchum told me that he is not upset with the sheriff, but that he doesn't agree with the governor's order. So again today, he reopened his restaurant in Vail. I'm told that they removed some of those tables for social distancing. There were still people at almost all of the remaining tables there. Mitchum told me that he understands some people may expect him to set an example as an elected official and follow the governor's order. But he says he is proud of opening in spite of it, even if it means that he faces charges.
It makes me feel good to know that I stood up and took a stand on what's been going on in this situation we're all been in. If I have to pay a fine, that's good.
Now, Mitchum told me that he could face a fine of up to $1,000. Violating the governor's order is a misdemeanor charge, so there is no possibility of arrest or of jail time if found guilty. Starting at 5 o'clock, Mitchum told me why he did not wait until the 22nd when the governor's order would allow limited opening of restaurants. Damani?
All right, Ken Lemon reporting live for us tonight. Thank you, Ken. Well, new at noon, if you're still waiting for your stimulus check, you may be getting a debit card instead of a paper check. Until now, payments were either direct deposited or mailed out to people's homes. The Treasury Department says about 4 million people will get debit cards, and that could mean people get their money faster than waiting on a check. Well, doctors across the U.S. have been warning people of kids getting sick with COVID-19 and a rare inflammatory disease. Symptoms include fever, stomach pain, red, irritated eyes, and swollen lymph nodes. While cases rise in at least 21 states, the World Health Organization is making this claim.
From what we know now, that children are less capable of spreading it, even if they get the infection, and certainly are at very low risk of getting ill from the disease.
Infectious disease experts and pediatricians are saying not so fast. They say they need to see more data before making any decision like that. A York County company says 5 of its employees have COVID-19 and are getting medical treatment. McLean Power Systems on Park Place Road confirmed the information to Channel 9 this morning. It says that 5 employees are not at work and everyone they've come in contact with are self-quarantined. McLean officials say that they are following CDC guidelines, including cleaning, temperature testing, social distancing, and having some staff work from home. Well, in just a few hours, leaders in Rock Hill will hear from those on the front lines. Rock Hill's mayor is holding a meeting to hear about the need in the city and where the city stands in dealing with the virus. York County has reported about 300 cases. Leaders will also talk about the impact on the business community, and that meeting at the Sports and Events Center is not open to the public. Well, the Treasury Secretary and the Federal Reserve Chair are testifying on the coronavirus impact on the economy. Now, it comes as a newly released congressional report finds only a fraction of the nearly $500 billion the Treasury was given as part of the CARES Act has been distributed. The money was supposed to help small businesses and others recover.
The biggest rescue package in the history of Congress, and we need to make sure the dollars in program quickly find their mark.
From what we know so far, it does not appear that this administration or the Federal Reserve are making workers their priority.
The new report was mandated as part of the package deal. So far, the government has dispersed around $37 billion, but most of that went to buying debt, which helped larger companies. Well, masks, gloves, and other items are hard to come by these days. Now we can add thermometers to the list. Listen to this here. Manufacturers and distributors say thermometers were already high in demand earlier this year when healthcare providers started ordering more to scan COVID-19 patients. But now, companies requiring temperature checks are also buying the devices in mass bundles. Medical suppliers say they simply can't keep up with that demand.